Hare Krishna. This is C.A. Rohanar Pingre, practicing chartered accountant based in Mumbai, also partner in Motilal and Associates LLP. Welcome to Tax YouTube channel and welcome to video series GST Relearn. And today is part 22 and we are going to discuss topic appeals and revision under GST. So let's dive into it. Let me allow to share my screen. Appeals and revision under GST. What we are going to learn, let's see. Overview of dispute resolution mechanism under GST, appellate authorities under GST, appeals to appellate authority, first appeal, then pre-deposit and payment during the appeal, powers and procedure of appellate authority, appeals to appellate tribunal, GSTAT, appeals to High Court, appeals to Supreme Court, revision by revisional authority, rectification of errors. Then we will see some practical issues and illustrations, important judicial principles from the case laws, and then key learnings and conclusions from the today's learning. So let's start. GST law provides what a structure appellate framework to ensure what fairness, natural justice, and correction of errors arising from adjudication orders. The mechanism aims to balance revenue interest with taxpayers' rights. So dispute may arise due to what reasons? Tax demands, denial of input tax credit, classification or valuation issues, refund rejections, penalties and interest. So these are the reasons for dispute may arise. So next, appellate authorities under GST. Let's see what are the appellate authorities. The appellate hierarchy broadly consists of appellate authority, first appeal, appellate tribunal, high court, and Supreme Court. So these are the four pillars of appellate authorities, we can say it. In addition, revisional authority is empowered to revise certain erroneous orders. Let's see appeals to appellate authority, first appeal. Who can appeal? Any person aggrieved by adjudication order, any person aggrieved by adjudication order passed by whom? Proper officer. Time limit is appeal to be filed within 3 months from the date of communication of the order. Appellate authority may condone delay up to 1 additional month on sufficient cause. Okay, means first time limit is within 3 months. We have to file from the date of the communication of order. But appellate authority, if delay occurs, then appellate authority may condone that delay up to 1 additional month on sufficient cause. Form and manner. Appeal to be filed electronically in prescribed form along with relevant documents. So scope is covers questions of law and facts. On at first appellate authority, cases covers are questions of law and facts. So practical example is a registered person receives an order demanding tax by disallowing ITC on alleged ineligible credits. So the taxpayer may file appeal challenging both factual findings and legal interpretation. Next, pre-deposit and payment during appeal. Mandatory pre-deposit. Full payment of admitted tax, interest, penalty and fee, and 10% of disputed tax subject to the prescribed monetary cap. Means whatever, if you admit the tax or interest, then you have to pay fully. But if the tax is disputed, then 10% of disputed tax need to be paid. Effect of pre-deposit. Balance recovery is deemed stayed during the pendency of the appeal. Let's see practical example. If disputed tax is rupees 10 lakhs and admitted tax is rupees 2 lakhs, then 2 lakhs to be paid fully because it is admitted. And 80,000 means 10% of 8 lakhs, not rupees 10 lakhs, because 2 lakhs you have admitted. So balance disputed tax will be rupees 8 lakhs. So out of that 10% comes to 80,000 is your pre-deposit you have to be deposit. Let's see powers and procedure of appellate authority. The appellate authority may confirm, modify, or annul the order appealed against, remand matters wherever necessary. So principles that can be followed in the appellate authority is natural justice, opportunity of being heard, reason order. Means this need to be followed by the appellate authority. Limitation cannot enhance penalty or fine without giving specific notice. Means if they want to enhance the penalty or fine, then a specific notice need to be issued. Next, now we are moving to appeals to appellate authority. Okay, who can appeal? Any person aggrieved by order of whom? Appellate authority. And also departmental authority subject to monetary limits. Means the monetary limit is set so that department authorities only can be filed appeal to the say GST only when the monetary limit is crossed. Time limit. Appeal within 3 months from the communication of order. Same as it is on the first appeal. Pre-deposit. Here, the pre-deposit amount is additional 20% of disputed tax over and above the earlier deposit. Scope. Final fact-finding authority under GST. The appellate tribunal is a final fact-finding authority under GST. Let's see practical example. An issue involving classification of supply resulting in high tax impact may be finally examined by whom? Tribunal on merits and industry practice. Now, appeals to High Court. Maintainability. Only on substantial questions of law, means fact, there is a question of fact need not be appealed to the high court. Question of fact means fact finding authority is a tribunal. This is a final fact finding authority under GST is appellate tribunal. Okay, so whatever questions coming to the high court, that will be on substantial questions of law. No appeal on pure questions of facts, okay, entertained by the high court. Time limit generally 180 days from the date of the communication. So examples of substantial questions of law: constitutional validity, interpretation of statutory provisions, and jurisdictional errors. So these are the few of the examples that can be said as a substantial questions of law is involved. Okay. Next, appeal to Supreme Court. Direct appeal lies against orders of High Court, orders of appellate tribunal involving place of supply or constitutional issues. Means orders of appellate tribunal, first we have to go to the actually high court. You can't go directly Supreme Court, but there is exemption. Orders of appellate tribunal involving place of supply or constitutional issues, then one can directly appeal to the Supreme Court and bypass the high court. So those two are the exceptions. Scope of the Supreme Court. Final authority on GST disputes. Next, revision by revisional authority. Purpose of revisional authority is to correct erroneous orders which are prejudicial to revenue. Conditions. Orders must be erroneous and error must be prejudicial to the revenue. Means both conditions need to be satisfied. What? Order must be erroneous and error must be prejudicial to the revenue. Restrictions. No revision if appeal is already filed. Please keep in mind, no revision if appeal is already filed. No revision on issues pending before appellate authority. So these are the restrictions. That is, no revision if appeal is already filed. No revision on issues pending before appellate authority. Time limit. Revision to be done within prescribed limitation period. Let's see practical example. If an officer drops demand ignoring binding legal provisions, then revisional authority may revise such order. This Also, prejudicial revenue means both conditions need to be satisfied. Order must be erroneous and error must be prejudicial to revenue. If an officer drops demand, ignoring binding legal provisions, revisional authority may revise such order. Next, rectification of errors. Nature of errors. Apparent on record, that is arithmetical mistakes, clerical errors. Time limit, rectification allowed within prescribed period from the date of the order, and limitation cannot change substance of the decision. Let's see some of the practical issues and illustration. Delay due to portal issues. Courts have granted relief where technical glitches prevented the timely filing. Wrong forum of filing. Appeal filed before incorrect authority may be allowed to be ratified with condonation. Okay, or allowed to be refiled with condonation. Non-speaking orders. Such orders are frequently set aside for what violation of natural justice. Let's see some of the important judicial principle based on the case laws. Right to appeal. Right to appeal is what statutory right, not inherent. Right to appeal is a statutory right and not an inherent right. Pre-deposit condition is mandatory but reasonable. Denial of personal hearing violates what principles of natural justice. Orders without reasons. Orders without reasons are what? Unsustainable in law. So these are the few judicial principles I have covered based on some of the case laws. So let's move on to the key learnings and conclusions that can be drawn from today's learning. GST Appellate framework is comprehensive and what multi-layered. Timely filing and correct pre-deposit are crucial for maintainability of your appeal. Appellate remedies safeguard taxpayers against arbitrary demands, and revisional powers are corrective, not substitute of appeal. Revisional powers are corrective in nature and not substitutive of appeal. Strong documentation and legal grounding significantly improve success in appeals. Very important. Means your appeal should, your foundation of the case should be based on the proper and strong documentation and legal grounding. Then only you can succeed in your appeals. That very important. So that's it for today. We have covered appeals and revision under GST. For details, you can go through the Where Act or the provisions itself. These are the only summary I have taken for benefit of just to touch upon the topic. Okay, so hope you are learning and getting knowledge and updated from this video series. Stay tuned to the Tax YouTube channel. If you are not yet subscribed, then do subscribe it for latest updates and video series like this. And from the month of January, I'm thinking to start a video series on concurrent audit. So stay tuned for that too. Because after GST video series, I'm going to start almost for next half year of the 2026 to cover up the concurrent audit of the bank branches. So those who are practicing in concurrent audit or want to do it concurrent audit, then stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel for that video series too. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon. Hare Krishna.